Hello, everyone. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about something that's quite controversial. It stirred a lot of public attention regarding this issue, and it's actually about TKA, or you probably know as Tes Kompetensi Akademik, which was in SBMPTN. Now, regarding that, our topic for today's podcast is actually about the erasure of TKA or Tes Kompetensi Akademik, or in English, you can say that as academic competency tests in academic entrance college selection. And we're going to discuss whether it is effective or not. And yeah, before we jump onto our discussion, let me give a little bit of clarity regarding what is actually this issue is about. So, as you may know, in Indonesia, to enter university, there's a test for uh, students, and it was called SBMPTN. However, in recent policy created by Minister of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology, they actually made quite changes regarding this selection college entrance test. And before it was called SBMPTN, but now it's called SNBT. And it's going to be implemented on to the upcoming year, which is 2023. And what is the issue in this actually? This caused a lot of public attention. And that is the removal of TKA. And before in SBMPTN, there's TPS and TKA. But now in SNBT, there's TPS and other subtests that's alongside this. And we're going to discuss whether the existence of TKA is effective for the college entrance exam or not. Now, without further ado, I'm sure you all are curious about who is going to be the speaker in this podcast. Who I want to know. I want to know. Well, I'm going to tell you. Just gotta be patient. So, our first distinguished speaker is actually the Minister of Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. To Mr. Nuril, we would like to invite you. Come forward, please. Nice to meet you. Hello. Yeah, thank you. It's my honor actually for you to be able in here, and we have like a talk. Okay? Yeah, we'll discuss. We have a lot of things to discuss. Okay. Now, the next distinguished speaker is actually the vice rector of Gajah Mada University. To Mr. Youma, we would like to invite you. Please have a seat with us. Hello. Nice to meet you. It's my honor, actually. It's my honor. It's really my honor to have you both here, like a very significant person in educational world. One could only imagine to have that in their life, but here I am. It's like a dream come true, honestly, for me. I never would have imagined, like, this is very surreal to me. But yeah, okay, please, I'm just gonna move forward. What am I blabbering about? And the next is, of course, we cannot have a discussion without the student itself. And our next distinguished speaker is actually the representative student of University of Indonesia. To Mr. Faishal, you may come forward, please. Hello, sit with us, sit with us. Nice to meet you. Hello. Okay, so hello. Yeah, don't be nervous. Like yeah, this is like casual. Yeah, sharing. Like there's no pressure, no pressure. I'm the only one who's getting pressured here actually because yeah, this is a big deal for me. Like okay, okay now. Let's just jump straight into the discussion, right? I'm sure the audience are like very curious about what we're going to talk about. And maybe to start our discussion, we will like just I would like to ask the question to the policymaker actually, as the Minister of the Education and Culture and Research and Technology. As policymaker, what is your consideration regarding this policy? Like, please explain it briefly. Please enlighten us. Oh yeah, yeah.
To make it more, yeah, to make it clear. Okay, so actually, it's not only about the TPS that we use in college entrance selection. But I'm sorry I'm bringing up my notes because I'm going to explain it in detail for this discussion. And then we have three type of tests. The first one is scholastic potential test, and then we are going to talk about that mostly. And then we also have literacy in Bahasa Indonesia and English for the another subtest, which is it is going to be measure the comprehension and understanding of students in in language field, and the mathematical reasoning in order to task them to measure their ability to think using concept, procedure, facts, and mathematical tools to solve everyday problems. So it's not going to be about the theoretical math that they had in the senior high school, but it's going to be relatable for their daily life. And going to the what is the foremost reason why we choose to remove away this academic competency test, or why what is the urgency that that we face being the reason why TKA being removed. It's actually we want to have this educational revolution, and one of the way is by removing academic competency tests. Why is it so? Because we realized that for these past years, it's TKA is only about memorizing materials. It's only about trying to understand the pattern in math subject, for example, or maybe just how the structure of soil and rocks in geography. It's just about that, and yeah, I mean, it's only memorizing, and it's not quite, it's very stressful for the students. They had a lot of burdens in their senior high school, for example, and after that, if they want to enter the college, they have to they have to take the test itself. And then we believe that this is not an effective way, since it's only memorizing. It's on and the memory itself will be will be thrown away after they have enter the college, if they do not keep it by themselves. So what we think that it is very effective is how to develop their critical thinking skill, how to use their brain as the software of the system. So we make the analogy of the brain of students become the software in the computer. So when we try to measure, we want to test the software itself. It means we will measure the cognitive ability, which the cognitive ability itself that is going to affect most in in thinking, in comprehending, and so on. So it's not about the material, but it's how the way student thinks, student solve the problem. Therefore, the scholastic potential test, it's about critical thinking and problem solving skill. So we want to make the revolution. And then we want to we just want we believe that we are going to talk about it later, more deeper. But then again, what I try to underline is it's about the cognitive skill that we want to test or measure among the students. So it's not going to be about maybe we would like to discuss later about the relevancy. But the urgency that we need to have is the critical thinking. Especially there are a lot of programs here that can be provide already. Therefore, we just want to make student can adapt with the situation, can adapt with a lot of critical problems using their own thinking, their own reasoning. So that's why I think we as the Kemdikbud believe that TPS will be more relevant, and we don't need TKA. We do not longer need TKA. So I think that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you to Mr. Nuril as the Minister of yeah. However, I do agree that with TKA, like there's a lot of memorization, right? Because there's a lot of subtests. Like for example, if you take science tech, you're gonna have to learn like about biology. You're gonna learn chemistry, physics, like. And that is very stressful. And on top of that, like there's also TPS, right? Which is like basically what what the ministry think right now. It's like more relevant to have like logical thinking, like because it like covers everything, right? Yeah, I agree with your point. And you also like care about students' mental, because you said that it creates like pressure. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's why we invite. Yeah, yeah, that's why we invite. We are very inclusive. We include. Yeah, we invite. Yeah, so we're not going to do like exclusive interview. It's going to be an inclusive interviews, and we make sure that every opinions actually come here, like talked in this podcast. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the explanation. Now, moving on to the next question. Oh, don't be nervous. Now, as your position as the vice rector of student academic affair for the University of Gajah Mada, what is your take regarding this issue, regarding the TKA being removed? Are you actually supporting it, or are you actually against it? Like, explain please briefly.
Thank you for this opportunity. Uh, I consider about the topic this session is about the erasure of TKA in college entrance selection. I'm truly it is not effective if the TKA is erasure. I have with because for our university have a high standard for the selection to student. Yeah, yes, and get down to the test. I think the result must be so the best we want to the enter the Gajah Mada University, and then quality student have will be improve the university, so makes a raise up of this university itself. Yes, and then beef up. I think beef up means like high expectation in the future for the best. I I mean like uh, for this student interaction in others. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yoma. Yeah. Wow, we're already starting with debate right here. There's pro, there's contra, but it's okay. Don't worry. This is casual. We're not going to fight in here. That's not going to happen. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Yoma. So your take regarding this issue is actually on the contrary of the yeah. Instead of thinking that TPS is like so much better than TKI, you actually think that both should exist, because you said that it creates like better filterization, right? And therefore, in return, going to enhance the quality of the university itself. Especially your university is really big. University Gajah Mada is like the top 10 university in Indonesia, and you really want to make sure that yeah, the student in there is like the best quality. Like you don't want to lose your ranking, right?
Many challenges that they need to face in order to enter the
like,
college itself.
yeah, because I mean, it's the best university in Indonesia, so
That's actually the amount of burden that we don't have.
yeah, we cannot remove that in the discussion. And yeah, however, I do agree with your point, because like big university requires quality students. Like there must be a high standard, because we don't want that to like reduce. And also every other university of course wants the best students, like, and yeah, your opinion that TKI is like better because it's like it means that they are going to better filterization, right? Okay, thank you, Mr. Yoma, for the explanation. Now moving on to our next person here, or our next speaker, which is actually the representative student itself, who is going to perhaps get the impact to an extent regarding this policy. Now, as a university student, I mean, you have a lot of friends, right? Yeah. What are your thoughts regarding this issue? I mean, like, do you think the removal of TKI is like good, like you support it or not? Like, please, yeah, is it wise? Yeah, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yes.
So, so I think that's from my own perspective as a college student, right?
And from what I also heard from my friends in the college, that yes, it is a really good program that are proposed by the government and in here Menristikti, which is aligned with MBKM, yes, right, MBKM curriculum. So and also the Merdeka Belajar, Merdeka Kampus Merdeka program by government, which allows students to learn not only learn that what they choose in their field, like for example language, then learn about language, art, and etc. that are related to the language itself, but also learn something that are interested to them. For example, like maybe yes, like outside of the staple program that are offered by the study class, yeah, study class itself. So they can learn more with the TPS, as TPS itself already includes everything that's are needed for MBK curriculum itself. And the flexibility, the efficiency that offered by this erasure of TKA, which TKA itself, for me, we can elaborate more after this about the efficiency. Yeah, like the efficiency itself, but like overall for me, first of all, that's the MBKM curriculum needs the entry tests that are more easy, more flexible, that are according to the MBKM curriculum itself. Yeah, so that's for me.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. So, what are you trying, what you're trying to say is that because the curriculum right now offers a lot of freedom in what we want to learn, right? Because we're not only gonna have to, yeah, we're not gonna choose the major that we choose from the beginning when we want to enter, like, and always that during the end of our study, but we can also choose others that is actually outside of our major, which means that to cater that the college entrance exam should also like follows that, right? Which I think both of you agrees that TPS is like better because it covers a lot of that aspect, like freedom, and also like the subtests, the like materials that are going to learn.
It's only limited to the areas that the student
Yeah,
take,
yeah,
one area that student take.
yeah.
We would like to make student can adapt with all
Yeah.
situation. We can adapt with all the kind of environment in society. Therefore, we are going to measure how they try, how their cognitive ability to to rigid format. Yes, yeah. It's not that rigid. It's not that rigid for the KPS. So therefore, that is also our consideration, and we would like to discuss deeper.
Yeah, we would like to discuss it actually. So yeah, but we cannot also deny that, which like I gives like better filterization, right? Like yeah,
Especially if they have been used they used to
yeah,
really high standard
yeah,
tests.
yeah. I mean, both coins have like their own side. So, but it's okay. We're going to talk about that deeper. And actually, regarding the response of Faishal, which Faisal basically said that TPS test only TPS is like already covers everything that is going to be needed in this curriculum. It's like more aligned with the status quo right now. And actually, as yourself, what is your response regarding what Faisal said? Like, do you agree or not? Please elaborate it.
All right, thank you for Mr. Faisal. Right. So I think MBKM is support flexible in MBKM program. First thing for this brief consideration of the getting removed this TKA, and I consider about the duration of MBKM. It's short time, is short the current. So uh, they come back to the our university is original to the university is more long to learn, and for the MBKM is short time to learn in the other college. Yes, and then the second one is like student must be illustrate how the material college is in this another of university. So so that I think the difficulties is about how they the student to face of these difficulties to learn in short time. I think. And that's for the response for the Mr. Faisal.
Yeah. So that from what I can gather, like from your response, that we as we as a student only reach like some limited amount of time to do in MBKM, which yeah, just short in overall education life, education periods, from beginning to the end. So yeah, I think it's I also agree with that, and but like for the overall thing, I think like Kampus Merdeka is still not only like okay, I get it, like MBKM is only short, but Kampus Merdeka as a whole will still have like open, right? Open option later on that can still be chosen, right? I think it's so yeah.
So I think that whether TKA will prepare students in facing MBKM is exactly like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. There's a lot of opinions actually regarding. I mean, we're only touching the ground, and we already have this much of opinions. Yeah, about the illustration. Like, yeah, what Yoma said is basically like, TKA is like useful because better filterization, of course, and also the materials that are in TKA actually gives illustration, right? Like what we're going to study, like visualization. Like, okay, wow, great. Okay, cool. Now that is yeah, that's our I think opening session for this podcast, and I think it's getting quite heated. I mean, there's a lot of opinions, but moving on to the next topic is actually related to what you said about pressurization. Yeah, in our society, especially like students who are preparing for entering university, a lot of them actually think that TKA is like very stressful because like you said, a lot of memorization and like just need a recurring like practice, and yeah, it gives like pressure, the amount of things that you need to memorize and practice. And regarding this, I would like to ask the questions for Mr. Yomo first. I think this could like continue the point of what you said about visualization. So, like, what are your thoughts regarding the TKA itself for like the students regarding the pressure in university? Do you think that the existence of TKA is like actually um, lessen the pressure, or maybe perhaps the other way around? Please elaborate.
Thank you. Before that, I have one kids in my home, and so my kid is new a student to the Gajah Mada. So okay, okay. So the observation to the my kids is like uh, he feels so culture shock of this test if the TKA is still erasure, and then TKA still exists with this giving us visualization of the student learn. For example, my kids choose the medical major or medical faculty, and they she learned about like a bones on organ. So this is related to the uh, yes the before yes the material. And then I think I consider about the number of the subtests that is very large, and I think it's most very like when a pig fly, it is mean like impossible condition of my daughter. And then this for the all student to entrance to Gajah Mada University, I think it's most be being a best prepare or go to extra mile to the phase of difficulties to the election of the entrance of the university. I think that's all.
Oh, okay. Thank you, thank you. So, yeah, I think it still continues to your point, right? Visualization, because like what you said, the example is your kid who's just starting in Gajah Mada University, which Fortunately, in the medical faculty, congratulations to your kid. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I think it is true that because like in TKA, there's a lot of subtests. Like in ScienTech itself, there's biology, right? Just like what you said, and it's actually useful because it gives like visualization to the student. Okay, thank you, Mr. Yoma, for the clarity, right? I think I kind of see like the positive side of TKA actually. However, moving on to the next person, which is a student itself. We also have a student in here. As a university student, I think you handle a lot of like pressurization, like I mean mental health problem in university, right? I think, yeah, I think it's like a really like a big topic between like students. And do you think that TKI is actually a burden in university life? I mean, like it creates like this mental pressure for people who students who want to enter college, right? Or maybe it's not that big of much of a deal. Like perhaps you could give your opinion regarding this.
So yeah, right. Of course, that some everything that's like in kind of test type of thing, like entrance test. Of course, it will have some burdens. Of course, it will be different to each person. But I think for the most part, people will take it as a burden, as especially if we like. Let's look at the real case, for example, that everyone that had graduated from high school will have some time, some period of time that where they don't learn anymore. They ju- their brain are used to not okay, of course that there are some people that still learn. That there will be other person that not gonna learn that much, especially like less disciplined people. And so that's from the side of like the habits of the person. Then also from the efficiency case, efficiency side of it, let's I will rebut my points in the earlier that TK is not 100% yeah, like used in relevant in what we study. as as we know, like if we choose science tech as our field of study, we will not only learn about, for example, we choose mathematics as the special our case, our study, but also in the TKA we will get also physics, chemistry, and etc. that are related to science tech, but not necessarily like it has some kind of connection, but it's not really. So it's still a really big burden. Yeah, it's still a big burden, especially for people that maybe okay, not like in a derogatory form, but it's like they have less capability of thinking. Like it's not necessarily people, everyone, oh, high IQ or stuff, but some people will not have that grade of performance in their brain, not in derogatory form, but like yeah, it's the reality of our people, not because yeah, that's from me. That's I can take on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think yeah, your main point in like what you said is basically TKI just like gives so much more, which actually not that related to like what you study, right? Like yeah, for example, when you're like a geography student and it's like it's related to SOSHUM, right? I mean in TK, and then in yeah, you cannot only choose like in TK like you're going to yeah, only one subtask, but you have to like take others which not that relevant, like yeah, like economy, like what do you learn about economy and geography, right? So like that's basically what your point, and it creates so much burden in a student's life. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Faisal, for the explanation. Now, moving on to the policymaker itself. Yeah, give the response. Do you what do you consider like the relation between TKI and like students' pressure, and what makes you change? What makes you create this new policy?
Yeah, actually, basically, when we propose a policy, it means there are a lot of considerations and reasons why we choose to propose that, for example. And then when we decided to remove or erase this TKA, those kind of discussion also came to our table. And then yeah, I agree about having the illustration or picturization about college in TKI itself. However, we realize that again and again it's about memorization. It's the unfortunate thing that we have just realized in this current era. And yeah, we agree that we want to give the picture. We don't want students to experience the culture shock. However, in college itself, the correct system, the right way to have in college system itself is about how you can, as I said earlier, adapt to the situation of how you handle something, how after you have something, you got you got the responsibility, and how you maintain that responsibility and solve not solve complete that responsibility. It's actually something that TKA does not have. It's since TKA only, yeah, it's about the persistence, of course, since we talk about the doing tasks and so on. But yeah, it's about the structure, what is that, the pattern of students brain, how they try to construct everything in their mind. It's something that TKA does not have. It's only applicable in TPS, in scholastic potential task. Therefore, we believe that we still give the picturization. We still illustrate to them, but in another way. Since that, yeah, as Faisal said earlier, yeah, the basic itself. As I said, it's a software for the computer, the analogy. And then yeah, but I also agreed about the relevancy, since that we realized that, yeah, maybe for some people, like you know let's say the law students, for example, yeah, they need to also have the knowledge about economy, because there will be like hukum waris or hukum trade law, for example. But it's not, yeah, they will learn by themselves at the major itself, right? So it's not like really necessary for them to have the holistic economic task in TKA itself, and it's going to burden them absolutely. And we believe that even though it's only TPS, it's not like a cakewalk. I believe that it's not that really easy for them. Of course, they need to. Yeah, yeah. We believe that yeah, it's not like a cakewalk, and they need to survive in doing the task itself. Therefore, I believe that TKA will bring more pressure, and that's also our consideration. And about the relevancy between, they can still learn about in their major, in their when they study in the college. Yeah, so we don't need to put any pressure or a lot of abundance of materials in TKA itself. I think that's all. This also one of our considerations, so I will talk it and I will explain it later gradually.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, the Minister of Education itself. Yeah, however, yeah, I do agree that yeah, it's basically, I mean, looking at the relevancy right now, like especially the current curriculum, the MBKM, it's like the basic way of our thinking, like the software, it's more relevant to today's day and age, especially in educational world. And it's like what you said, like we have to revolutionize our education, because education keeps like changing constantly.
And maybe the thing that we need to consider, and maybe this is really debatable about the relevancy and so on. But I would like to propose another idea, which is it is about privilege, which is going to be about additional course, or we in Indonesia we call it as bimbel, bimbingan belajar. And we realize that if TKA exists and it's still it's still provided for students, therefore they most students have the tendency to take additional courses because there's a lot of material and they could not control by themselves. Of course, they need help, they need assistance from others. Therefore, yeah, I realized that we do not want them to bite off more than they can chew. Yeah, it's idiom like that. But we need something innovation to to make student easier to grasp the material and so on. So yeah, even though TPS is still hard, but I believe that at least we reduce the burden from students. And yeah, sorry, I'm going to talk about the privilege itself. Yeah, since TKA is being removed, it means that what is that? Maybe probably in the future there will be many students who think that they do not need any assistance, they do not any bimbel from outside because they can learn it by themselves since it trains or it measures your cognitive skill, right? Your cognitive ability. So there is no there is no specific pattern for you to memorize, specific pattern for you to absorb the material about the economy, biology, and so on. So you only try to find a way for your brain to solve a problem, for example. Yes, so actually it's about the privilege that make the educational gap become higher. So we consider that a lot of people from a very spectrum will can what is that can participate and can struggle by their own self. So yeah, maybe there will be still bimbel who provides personal assistance for the students. However, we try to reduce it. We try to minimize the educational gap. I think that's the also the urgency that we have in proposing this.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So yeah, our Minister of Education right here actually consider a lot about students, and yeah, through the removal of TKA is going to bring accessibility because logical thinking is like everyone has that, right? And it definitely reduce the burden of.
Yeah, lessening the burden, and it means that we will also remove away the educational gap.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the explanation. Now, yeah, I think responding to this, to what Mr. Nuril said, like, do you think privilege has like a big impact of student, like, or maybe the student itself that is like should be learning more regarding this issue? Like,
So I always hearing about that is so many days. It is about rich people and then can take her student to the bimbel, and so I think it's like there are several students goes like tutoring, like open the internet. It can be like a brainly or it was the real available all the material is available on the internet. And then I think to compare with the uh, student in this bimbo and then student tutoring naturally in the internet, it is not like like compare about that, because this at the end the student diligently is the better for the entrance of the selection of this university. Well, it can be in the student goes to the bimbo or the tutoring with the YouTube and internet. I think that's all the response for the Mr. Nuril.
okay, thank you. So basically, like what you said, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if students, yeah, as long as you're diligent, of course. So yeah, and also on top of that, a lot of materials are like free right now on the internet, which yeah, just
It's better for us to hear directly.
yeah, I think from the student itself. That's why we invite the students in here. So in the world of the university students, do you think that privilege brings a great impact onto the matter of college entrance, or do you think that it's actually up to the students to perform well, like to be diligent on their students? Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, right.
Elaborate.
Is additional process really impactful for students? Or
Right, right.
yeah.
Right. So from what I think that yes, it will bring some opportunity for the students to be able to enter the college itself, as we know that TKA will require a lot of wide range of subjects that needs some help, assistance, tutor to be able like not kids, like these students will need some assistance to able to master the knowledge itself, not because they can like learn themselves, of course they can that, but back to my points earlier that everyone not in the same range of like brain capability, right? Their thinking capability is not always in the same level, not like in the same place. Therefore, they will need some tutor, right? And not everyone can afford it. Not everyone can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so actually everyone, if there's opportunity, even free opportunity
Right,
for
right,
them,
right.
they will try to learn. Yeah. So it's not, yeah, so it's actually about the personal, personal preference, but it's actually about the system. Like a system is burden,
Right,
they
right.
need.
They need that, and they will take that if it's like free and accessible easily. But yeah, but most of the case it's will be paid and like subscription, etc. It's not accessible freely for everyone. And yeah, accessibility is really important in this case. And on top of that, like if it's right, oh, I thought it was something. So like if we just maybe erase or just reduce TKA at least, TPA will already cover, right, the whole things that are needed. And yeah, that thing that's for me that's about the privilege thing.
Okay, thank you. So we can take that. Yeah, do these TKIs, the removal of TKI is actually going to like create accessibility for everyone in every economic status, every layer in society to do their best to give their best. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe before we move to another session, I think we have, we have observed and we have experiment. We have conducted experiment from these past years, and we believe that, of course, like bring a lot of advantages. However, it's still, for now it's a little bit irrelevant, and then we try to see more potential things, which is, yeah, it's about the TPS. So yeah, I agree that TKA has main advantages. However, it's not that really irrelevant. Therefore, we try to remove that away in order to less the burden of students, and improving the educational gap. Break down the educational gap. It's like that.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, in this podcast, we can actually agree that TKIs actually has advantage, but right now what's more needed and more relevant to the world that's constantly keep changing is only TPS and like other subtasks.
Uh, in this world nowadays, attention span is really reduced as like our culture moving towards TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and people will having more hard time to learn things, and this kind of thing like TPS will be more.
We'll improve that.
Yeah, will improve it as it's only cover the basic but the most fundamental things rather than just memorize everything that, oh, do you think kids nowadays will be taking that easily? Yeah, it will be hard.
We can say that.
Yeah. Well, I think we've came to the end of our discussion, and judging from the our discussion, right, to answer the question, is it effective or not regarding the TKA is being removed or not? And to answer that, on this debate, it's more leaning to the effective side, right? I mean, right now, yeah, the world, educational world keeps changing, and therefore adapting to that and choosing TPS and other subtests is like the best option instead of using the TKI because TKI is like a lot and it's quite rigid, right? So yeah, I think that's the end of our podcast, and of course, we still have to do our question and answer session. So please, the audience, yeah, feel free to ask. Yeah, feel free to ask to anyone. Yeah, please. You may write it on the chat. You can, just answer.
Yeah. Is our voice clear, guys? Is the voice clear enough for the audience? Is are our voices clear enough? Yeah, I believe. I believe. Yeah, yeah. There must be, question.
Yeah, hello.
Okay, our voice clear. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
questions
yeah,
for
maybe
us since we discussed. This is about from students to students, right? Exactly.
you can
And
ask anything.
and yeah, maybe one thing that we need to have is one thing that I need to say. I need to say is we don't want to put students in a tight corner. I mean, in a hard situation, of course. And since that we have the clear visualization of how MBKM program ask students. I mean, the requirements, the prerequisite and so on. It needs, you know, adaptation skill. It requires what is that? How to collaborate with to each other. How to you find a way to solve a problem. So it's about your cognitive ability. That's the thing that we want to measure or we want to test. So yeah, it's actually the basic thing. And I also agree with Faishal stated earlier that it's about the fundamental issue. I mean the when it's how can we try to grasp material if our cognitive ability, if our brain as the software is not being has not been improved. So it's actually the thing that we need to consider is the fundamental itself. The fundamentals we focuses on the basis, which is the potential scholastic test itself. So I think that's all. Okay, maybe we are going to have question after this, waiting for the audience.
Maybe one is okay, I think. Yeah. You may ask anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or anything related. Yeah,
Related to this.
Yeah. If you're
And by the way, we are not talking specifically about MBKM, right? It's just the correlation to MBKM. So we are not talking about programs. However, it's about the relevancy, between the requirements of MBKM, the characteristic of MBKM that as students, and how TPS will fulfill that necessity or that requirements. I mean, yeah.
if you're uncomfortable with opening your microphone, you can of course
exactly
type on chat box.
Yes, any questions from others? It seems, yeah, Joy. Seems. Any questions, maybe?
It's not scored.
Yeah, it's not scored. So yeah, we just conduct the sharing session.
Need to be put down.
Or maybe if it is possible, is there any curiosity among students in facing this kind of system of tests from the students itself? Maybe do you still have are you still curious about the system system task itself or something?
Yeah,
like that?
actually, yeah, we're
No, okay. Is okay. Oh, please.
Yeah, please let me have my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So question from Shima. Is TKA going to be erased or changed anytime soon?
Maybe
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. wait a minute, please. Please bear with us. Going to repeat the question. The question is actually from Shayla Mita. Is TKA going to be erased or changed anytime soon? I think to answer this, of course, the Minister of Education.
Good question. It actually cover our. Sorry. I would like to discuss it in our podcast, but we have limited time. So yeah, fortunately we have this question. So it's about, is it going to be erased or change anytime soon? Okay, for this moment, currently we erase TKA and we only have those three subtests, which is TPS, literacy in languages, and also mathematical reasoning. And then how about the policy in the future? So it's exactly. Mm, exactly. We realized that every policy must be improved and must be evaluated gradually. Therefore, this is one of the way how we evaluate the policy, right? Therefore, when we realize that TK, I don't know, maybe TKA will be reformed to another type of task, for example, if it is going to be better, it has better system, but it still reduce the burden of students. We will surely include it on the college interns selection if it is relevant. True. Yes, exactly. As long as it's relevant and it caters the needs of students or how the university try to stick for in this educational system. So I think that's all the consideration. It's always changing. Therefore, we have to adapt with the situation. So if the question will it permanently deleted? Of course not. It is not absolute. Therefore, we need to evaluate more and more. Even it can be reformed to another effective test. Yeah, and yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah. I think that answers the question. I mean, to answer, is it going to be erased or changed anytime soon? I mean, as of now, yes. But in the future, it does not guarantee that the TKIs will be removed permanently. Yeah, it's either it could be there's possibility it could be added back or changed into other form, but still has that TKI essence. Oh yeah, so yeah, thank you for the question, Shelamita. And actually, we have one more question, and I think it's the last question. Yeah, yeah, we have limited time. It's from Ahmad Ani. Ahmad Ani said about MBKM. Do you think the government gave us free trial? Gave us a trial and error for this? Are we guinea pigs or something?
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I think again.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry for dominating this Q&A session because I feel that this is my responsibility to clarify. This is actually okay. Okay. Now the burden is on me. The burden is not on students but on the Minister of Education. Okay. So I'm going to clarify this. Yeah. Are we guinea pigs or something? Yeah, it's actually terms that we hear often, very often in our daily cases, especially in Ministry of Education. And maybe I'm not talking about the MBK. I'm talking about this college intern selection. Yeah. I don't want to say that students, college students or prospective students in this case, guinea pigs and so on. But we try to improve day by day. If we, I mean, yeah, we try to evaluate as I stated earlier. If we do not change it now, if we are not changing it now, when will it be? I mean, when will the time we can have the better education, the better prosperity of a nation from education itself? Therefore, it's not about testing the students. We have observed, we have conducted the experiment. So it's not only about we just simply or just eat this salty food to the students. It's not just simply like that. It's about giving the exactly. We have yes, exactly.
You need improvement.
Yes, we need improvement. We have constructed all the elements, all the aspects. After all the consideration, we have the countless meetings in Kemdikbud for deciding or for choosing this system. Therefore, we propose it. We try to implement it. So it's not going to be about we have the new recipe of food, then we try to just taste it. Is it sweet or It's not about that. We have the consideration. So you cannot say to Ahmad Ani, you cannot say that you are the guinea pigs and so on, or in bahasa Indonesia we say it kelinci percobaan, right? Many people assume that way, but we realize that it's not about that. It's giving the opportunity for students. Yes. Giving opportunities, development and improvements among the students for the sake of educational system, the better way to improve the education and so on. So it's not, yeah, maybe, yeah. For example, the batch 2023, it's for the erasure of TKA itself. It's not the first time actually. We had it on 2020. Yeah, because the COVID pandemic, the pandemic. However, even if it's still the very new policy, the new regulation from the government, it's not just not trial and error. Yeah, of course we need to evaluate. Every policy need to be evaluated, but it's not trial and error because we want to have the improvements. So the thing that we need to remember is the consideration and the urgency why we need to have the what is that the new system, the new changing system. And I'm talking, for, let's take an example in MBKM, in ISMA or PMM, for example. And if, yeah, okay, if we stick only in the past, on the previous status quo, if we do not want to have this kind of improvements, how can students feel studying abroad, having the great educational system in Europe, for example? So that's how another example why we need to reconstruct again the educational system.
Right? I mean, saying it as making it the students as guinea pigs is it's very incorrect,
Yeah,
right? Because
incorrect.
yeah, we have to make improvements, and for that sake of
We have new
improvement,
improvements, but we do not testing them
yeah,
as
we're not making yeah, you guys don't make students feel like making them harder, but it's for the sake of improvement. So yeah, it's the idea of it is something bad is actually it's for the better good, right? At the end of the day. So yeah, I think that's the end of our podcast. Thank you for everyone who has been staying with us, who has been listening to us discussing about this matter. Yeah, yeah. So from this podcast, we can see that actually the main objective of this, like the main reasoning, foremost reasoning of this, is because for the students itself, because there's like a lot of pressurization for TKA, because TKA is like a lot of memory, right? And therefore it is being erased for the order of reducing the burden. And on top of that is also like for the sake of relevancy. I mean, right now the curriculum is like mbkm, which is like very centered to freedom, and tps is much more. Yeah. And yeah, I think yeah, last message I think from you.
I mean, for the Kemendikbud, I'm just want to say I support of decided to your plan in the future, and then I think it's like go to extra mile for the development in the future. Then and then if not work, it's like a when the piggy fly. It means item is impossible condition to the erasure of this TKA. And then consider what like I said before, maybe that's all for me. For
Start to injury.
all right, so maybe for the Mr. Faishal have a last message.
Major reaction.
Right. So yeah, it is very interesting discussion we have so far. Um that's we can agree on something and we can disagree on something other. But in the end, we should still consider many things that are proposed by the government and proposed by the other opposing sides of things. So we can, yeah, we can have more discussion furthermore and evaluation. And yeah, in the end, it's not always absolute. Decision is not like
But yeah, let's
simple.
just hope that. I believe that this is very relevant since as the cognitive skill of students. Therefore, we have to be optimistic. I think that's
Yeah,
all.
okay. I think every speakers here has delivered their points, and I think we have reached the conclusion that in this podcast it is actually effective that TKA is rule. I mean, as of now, of course, but it doesn't remove the possibility that in the future there's more discussion like this regarding whether it is going to be implemented back or not. So yeah,
with the era.
yeah, with next era, next improvement, next changing. So yeah, I think that's all from our podcast. Thank you all so much for the attendance. For this very lovely discussion, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And also to our lovely audiences, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining our very long podcast. We actually did not expect to see this long. Turns out this was very exciting.
Deeper and deeper.
Yeah. So yeah, I think yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Guys, thank you so much yang udah join habis ini grup Medi berarti ya. Thank you, thank you. Kami live dulu ya kayaknya.